Strangers will support you way more than your friends will. Now, what we got to realize is that when we're building in anything, whether you're building musically, you're building in your businesses, you're building your online brand, etc., you are going to be doing things that your friends might actually think is borderline corny. Your friends will understand because they don't understand the vision that you have long term for yourself. They don't understand the hunger that you have within yourself that wants to make you push for something bigger and better and something that in reality is just different from the norm. I remember when I wanted to start doing music, right? Now, back then there weren't too many case studies. And I remember not a lot of people from the ends have actually made it to a point where you could be like, okay, cool, you can actually do this full time, you can build a network, you can either go in as an artist, a producer, engineer, or anything like that. It was always a case of either you go to school, either you become an athlete, or if you're trying to do this music thing, then in reality, you either have to go to America or you have to do like pop music, for example. And it was something that I just said to myself that look, like I can see a shift coming because we're starting to see a few people bubbling up over here in the UK and over in America. They've already done the infrastructure time and time again. So why can't we replicate over here? So I remember when all my boys were going to sixth form, right? So I don't know what the equivalent of that is in America, because again, I do have an American audience as well. But when all my boys were going to after middle school, I think it's for you guys high school, whatever, but the ages of when you are 16 to 18, right? When they were all going there, I remember I said to myself that look, I can easily do this. I can go to the sixth forms, I can then go to university and do this and do that. Because for those that know me in real life, like book smart, like I'm actually book smart, you know what I mean? But I said to myself that look, I need to do something different, man. I need to do something that makes me inherently feel good. It makes me inherently feel as if though I'm fulfilling a purpose. It makes me feel as if though I'm giving value to the world. You know what I mean? So I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go music college. And when I went music college, I remember that I had literally separated myself. Bearing in mind, you're like 16, right? So it's probably the first time that you are in an environment where you're actually alone for the first time ever. Because cool, when you're in primary school, you can't pick what primary school you go to, right? You go in, you make friends with everyone, do you know what I mean? And naturally, even in primary school, there's still a few people that I speak to till this day. But when I speak to a lot of people and say, okay, cool, what did you start friends from back then? A lot of them say, nah, like, I don't. Do you know what I mean? So you're forced to have the friends or the community depending on wherever you're actually born, right? When it comes to primary school. Secondary school is kind of similar because you don't pick your secondary school, your parent does, right? After that, when it gets in our college, sixth form, university, etc., this is now where you're starting to elevate into becoming, you could say, an independent adult, especially at university for most people. So at college, I separated myself from my boys, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and chase music. Do you know what I mean? And I remember when it came to music college, I had a couple options. I had a college that you had to go in every single day, and I had a college that obviously you could go in like maybe 3, 4 times a week. I said, look, if I get an extra day off for a weekend for me to then eventually work on my music and that, listen, I'm on that all day. Do you know what I mean? So, and to be honest, me choosing that actually helped me significantly because on those off days, I wasn't actually even resting. I was just on YouTube University, just studying music production, studying business. I was studying all sorts of things that eventually got me to where I am right now, right? So I went to music college, met new people, obviously networked, still cool with quite a lot of those people, and quite a lot of those people are now successful as well. They're doing their thing, right? So it got to that stage and I said, you know what? Again, this is something I want to do. So when it got to the COVID area, I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube, but C19, right? When it got there, I remember it was a perfect opportunity for me to literally go into music because we were all my boys that went to uni that year, they were literally locked in their dorm room or they had to do it online, for example. So I was like, look, let me take a gap here. Let me show you guys obviously being my parents, that I can do this and I can actually excel in whatever I do. And luckily, because obviously the situation that we're in, globally, like they let me do my thing. And ever since then, I was able to build a brand within music. I was able to work with a lot of artists build a lot of relationships, and yeah, man, like it's helped me significantly. Like every single person that I've networked with or I've kept relationships and maintained with, all of them have done their thing. Like, for example, my boy the other day, he literally just got Grammy nominated. You know what I mean? So these are things that are literally within reach. I always say that a win for one of my boys or a win for people within my close circle or just in the vicinity for me is a win as well, because it just shows that look, if that person can achieve it and you know where they're coming from, you know where they started, etc., then you got to be able to achieve it as well. But it always circles back to what I said at the beginning of the video, which is at the end of the day that strangers will support you way more than your close friends, because at the end of the day strangers don't actually know you. All they know is what you basically portray to them and the feeling that you basically give them. So for example, if I'm an artist right now, right, and I'm making music that makes people feel, I don't know, sexy, all my friends, they might be like, oh, but you're the same guy that, for example, you did this and you did that and you did this. And low key, bro, people be prejudging, do you know what I mean? Or maybe it's not as believable because they know you inherently, right? Whereas when you put that song out in the internet, you're gonna get people that don't know you, but they love that sound, the feeling that you give them, and all of a sudden they're gonna run with it. You may want to start an online business and be like, you know what, I'm going to be catering for so and so people. For example, I help people build cash flow businesses, especially entertainers, because it's something that is really, really needed within this industry. So let's say, for example, I have a conversation with one of my clients, right? And I remember, I'll give you one example clear as day, yeah? I remember when it was coming to me in regards to, okay, bro, I've seen you done A, B, and C. I want you to help me out with my coaching business. I remember when I had the first conversation with him, it was almost as if though he had self doubt. He didn't believe that this was actually possible. He didn't believe that he could actually make money from his skill set. And I was like, I remember on the first call, it wasn't even a normal onboarding call. It was more so a call of me just kind of pouring into him and just showing him that look, anything is actually achieved when you put your mind to it. If you are willing to do the grass work, if you're willing to do everything it takes in order to actually get to that next level, then eventually something will give, right? And now we're literally on track to closing a few clients and he's going to start getting paid. You know what I mean? So it just goes to show anyone can do everything if you have a support system behind you. But even past that support system, it always starts inherently within. Because if you go out expecting, let's say, your friends to support you, they're not going to. Also, if you go out expecting strangers to automatically support you, they're not going to support you. So you have to support yourself inherently and believe in yourself, bro. Believe in your source every single time. That's the reason why I'm on a vibe. Like, I try my best to limit negative self-talk. I remember when I was younger, I was, you could say, the quote unquote inspirational positive guy. Like, if you went on my snap, if you're around me, I'm the type of person to motivate you to become a better person. Like, you can't be around me and just be a bum. Do you know what I mean? You can't be around me and have no emotion or don't believe in yourself, etc. That's just not. It's never been my bag. Do you get it? So I remember, like, with everyone around me, I was always in that vibe, etc. And everyone now, like, they're all low key. They're just like, bro, like, I can't lie, you're a real one. Do you know what I mean? So I've been able to build that kind of character and story or brand with people that obviously I know. But my what I realized and what I eventually matured into is that it's not about being positive. It's more so just about not being negative. Do you know what I mean? Not everything in life is positive. Let's be real. You got someone watching right now. You might have bills to pay. You might have something going on with your family right now. You might be thinking, nah, there's no way I can monetize my talents. There's no way I can build a personal brand. There's no way I can do A, B, and C. But at the end of the day, if you say those things, then there's power in the tongue. It says, for example, within scripture that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you're speaking death onto your products and services, onto your music, onto your personal brand, onto your job for those that work a 9 to 5, like, what do you expect's gonna happen, bro? You're literally speaking these things into existence that look, I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? So your brain's gonna now say, look, I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be on it, man. You have to say to yourself, look, it's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? Somehow, some way, it's gonna happen. You put your goals out there. Eventually, from putting out your goals, something just eventually kicks in as long as you're putting in the work and you're consistent to do so. They always say like overnight success are usually people that have been grinding for maybe 3 to 5, if not 10 years, and all of a sudden they were prepared for the opportunity. Because success actually is when opportunity meets preparation, right? So they'll prepare for opportunity. The opportunity came, they took it, ran. All of a sudden they're gone. Do you get it? So you have to prepare for that. And the only way you can prepare for it is by having a mentality that I'm trying to say to you guys right now. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And what I've committed to doing is that for the foreseeable future, I'm just doing it for the entire of at least November, right? I'm gonna be uploading either I'm thinking whether to either do it in the morning or whether to do it at night. In fact, morning probably makes more sense. I'm probably gonna be uploading in the morning first thing, just before even my usual uploads while I'm building the channel. And I still got a relatively small channel, but I do see this channel doing things and the audience is building, you know what I mean, in real time. So I'm happy about that. But besides all the reaction content I give you guys, etc., I'm gonna be making sure to give you guys some sort of motivation, some sort of business insight, some sort of marketing expertise, and actually showing you guys what I can actually do while I'm building this brand. Because my main thing is just value. Do you know what I mean? I understand that the reaction content and all that type of stuff is gonna bring in an audience because everyone loves drama, everyone loves gossip and stuff like that. Bro, if you meet me in real life, I could borderline care less. Do you know what I mean? But when I eventually watch it, I see something on TikTok. Even me, I tune in. I'm just like, oh, what? This happened and this happened. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones. But overall, it's about understanding what is the end goal with all of this. And my end goal is to make sure that I'm providing as much value for people. Like every single skill set I have, instead of me just giving it to people that don't value it, I'd rather just give it to you guys, strangers. You know what I mean? Build you guys, build a community. And from building that community eventually is a reciprocal, right? You guys are benefiting from it. Maybe you make money from it. Maybe you get a better skill set. Maybe your mindset changes, etc. And on my part, it's going to be a case of I'm building my personal brand. I'm able to give value, etc. So that's what I'm on, man. And at the end of the day, that's what this channel stands for. Do you get it? So, my people, them, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. I'm gonna make sure that these are as raw as possible, so it's not gonna be too much editing. It's just gonna be me speaking directly to the camera. But make sure to like, subscribe if you want to work with me. Links down below. And outside of that, I'll see you guys tomorrow.